Hi, boys and girls. Well, we're in Mrs. Becker's kitchen again because it's time for some science. And today we're just going to try to answer a question. And the question is, what colors make black? All right, and we have maybe 2 or 3 different ways that we can kind of test that out. And the first way is by taking a coffee filter and some black markers. And you can see I already started to do this. But do you see how I've colored black all around towards the edge? Well, I'm going to finish doing that here so you can kind of see how this works. Let me stand up and I'm going to move my camera a little bit. And I'm just going to finish coloring around the edge. And you can actually, if you wanted to, make some kind of a design. But the thing is, you want to use markers. And you don't want to use a permanent marker. You just have to use a regular marker and just use black because we're trying to figure out what colors make up black. All right, and now that we have a ring around the whole coffee filter, we're going to kind of fold this and make what looks like a cone, okay? And then I have a bowl of water here. And it's not filled very high. You don't have to have very much water. But we're going to see what happens when we put, let me do it this way, when we put the coffee filter with the black in the water. And let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen? Let's find out. All right. Can you see what's going on? I'll just leave it there for a little bit. All right, we have to kind of watch. Ooh, something's moving, isn't it? Is the water moving up the coffee filter? All right, we're going to let it get pretty wet here. I might move it a little bit. Can you see it better there? If I did the camera better, you could, couldn't you? Ooh. Do you see some other colors besides black? And I know it's kind of hard to see. We'll let it do it this little bit more. I'm going to open it up a little bit. You see any other colors in there? The water is traveling on the coffee filter. The coffee filter, we say the coffee filter absorbs the water. And then the water is going up the coffee filter and moving through the black marker. And then we can see some other colors coming out. All right. Now, I did this earlier. Can you see some blue? Do you see some blue? Maybe even some purple? All right, so I did this earlier. And I have a coffee filter that's dry. And maybe we can take a look at that next so you can kind of see what this looks like. It's always a little tricky, okay? I will come back to this one in a second, but here's the one that I already did. What colors do you see? Oh my goodness, do you see some blue? I definitely see some blue. I know this is really hard to see, but there's some purple, and over where these blobs are a little bit darker, there's even some brown, maybe a little bit of yellow. You can see some yellow in here too. Now, this is why this is a good experiment to do in person at your house, because it's really easy and you would be able to see these colors so much better. All right, so here's one way of finding the answer to the question, what colors make black? All right, and then I'm going to take this one and I'm going to unfold it. And it's kind of tricky. But if you look really closely on this one, and I'm going to put it on this white piece of paper, you can see some of the same colors that Mrs. Becker saw in her earlier one. Do you see the blues? And there's some purple. And again, the brown, it's the same kind of thing. All right. So again, might be a good experiment to do at home so you can see it better in person. Okay. Now, another way that we can figure out the colors in black is by using paint. And give Mrs. Becker a second here, and I'm going to wash my hands, and then I'll come back and we'll talk, and I'll let you see me again. That's why it's nice to be in my kitchen doing the experiment, because I have everything I need very close by. All right. So we saw some blues and some purples and some browns and maybe a little yellow in our black experiment there, didn't we? So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take some paint. All right. So we said we saw some blue. So I've got some blue paint here. It's very runny, so I have to be a little careful here. You know what? At preschool, we always put our sleeves up, don't we, when we're doing something that could be messy. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a little blue here. See my little blue dot? Maybe a little bit more. There we go. And I always tighten things up. And you'll notice my hands are going to get messy, but it's okay. All right, we said we saw a little brown in our black paint. So I'm going to put a little bit of brown paint here. Okay. And we saw a little purple. So I'll put a little purple paint here. I'm putting them kind of close to each other too. And then a little yellow. Let's see. Let's put a little yellow in here too. Oh, it's more yellow than Mrs. Becker thought it would be. Then I'm going to go around and get my paintbrush. And I'm going to mix these together. What do you think is going to happen? Are my colors, these are dark colors, are the colors going to get lighter? Will they get darker? What color will I make? Well, I've not tried this, so let's see what happens. Oh my goodness, we are darkening up, aren't we? You see that dark color? Yep, we darkened up. We didn't get lighter. Now this one is more of a brown color that we're getting, which is okay. All right, but it's a darker color, isn't it? Now, answer this question for me. What are the colors of the rainbow? What are the colors of the rainbow? And let me wash my paintbrush out again. All right. Do we have red in the rainbow? We do. Should we see if we can get, or what happens when we put all the colors of the rainbow together? All right, so I'm going to put a little red here. Okay. What other colors do we have? Oh, we have orange. Okay. Orange is in the rainbow. Put a little orange here. Just a second. Needs two hands on this one. All right. Now, it's probably better for experiments if we could actually get the same amount of paint of each color, but that might not happen in Mrs. Becker's kitchen, okay? So, do we have yellow in a rainbow? Yes, we do. The yellow is being a little tricky. There we go. How about green? Do we have green in them? We do. And do we have blue in the rainbow? Yes, we do. Oh, my blue is very runny and it splattered out more than I thought. And then we have purple. We do. All right, so we're going to get all the colors of the rainbow here. All right, now I'm going to take the paintbrush and I'm going to mix them together and we'll see what happens, okay? What do you think is going to happen? Oh my goodness. Are we gonna have a mess? Ooh, let me get it together. Oh my goodness. Ooh, can you see what happened? All right, it went darker again, and this is a very dark brown. And if I were to mix some more of the colors that we just talked about together, it would get darker and darker. We just don't have time to do that, but you could do that at home. All right. When we did our little experiment with our coffee filter, we found that there was a lot of blue and there was even some brown in there. So what if we just took blue and brown and mixed it together? I wonder what would happen there. What do you think? All right, so I'm gonna, oh, that blue. There's just so much of it. And then I'm gonna put some brown. I can have some brown here. Okay. Now we mix these together. Now, if you haven't noticed, Mrs. Becker's hands are getting all messy. But guess what? I can just wash them off later. So it's no big deal, is it? All right, so I've got my blue and my brown. Mix them together. Oh my goodness. This is even darker than any of the other colors that I've done. And I know it's really hard for you to tell. But if I were to put a little bit more of the blue and the brown in here, I'd be getting closer to the black. All right, so the thing is, black has lots of colors in it. And you can experiment at home. If you've got all this paint, you can put different colors together and see if you can make black. But black has lots of different colors in it. All right, and that's something to kind of keep in mind. And it can be made with different, what we call combinations of colors too. There's not just one way to make black, but the idea is that black has all these different colors in it. And it doesn't, what we call, reflect light then. And that's why you see the darkness, the black, okay? And you'll learn more about that when you grow older. Right now, all we have to do is figure out an answer to the question, what makes black, by putting paints together and seeing what you can come up with. Okay? All right, boys and girls, thanks for helping me. And let me show you the coffee filter one more time. This is the coffee filter that we just did. Okay? Can you see those blues? Can you see the purple a little bit? Even some yellow, some brown down here. Maybe there's some orange in there too. All right. Have fun at home trying to figure out more about the color black. Bye-bye.